This is module number 10, the EP4 cardiac stimulator. The EP4 cardiac stimulator is an integrated part of the EP WorkMate recording system. It may also function as a standalone system with another recording system. The EP4 cardiac stimulator is a protocol-based stimulator, meaning that it has several different pacing protocols that you can use for different pacing situations that come up during an EP study. The EP4 cardiac stimulator main menu shows all the protocols down the left side, with tabs to access all the protocols across the top. The protocols down the left side are the F protocols. Think of the F as meaning fixed. These are the fixed protocols that come loaded in the system and will always be the way they are now. Down the right side are the P protocols. Think of the P as meaning programmable. These are programmable protocols that can be created by using the F protocols as a template and setting it up for a specific situation. The bottom portion of the EP4 cardiac stimulator menu is the channel control area. This is where the user can control the stimulator from the touchscreen control. Also, the EP4 cardiac stimulator can be controlled from the EP4 cardiac stimulator keyboard. The channel control area consists of a clock and a set cycle button. The set cycle button is used to set the cycle length in a specific protocol to a percentage of attack of cardia cycle length. The user can define the percentage and, by pressing the Set Cycle button, automatically set the pacing cycle length to that percentage of attack of cardia cycle length. S6 and S7 typically use the set cycle and the percentage as burst protocols to get a patient out of attack of cardia. The Save P key button is the way the user can create a programmable key using one of the fixed keys as a template. The Auto button turns on or off the automatic features that are present in many of the pacing protocols. The Stim Halt button. When the EP4 cardiac stimulator is not pacing, the Stim button is green and says Stim. You can press this button to begin pacing. Once you begin pacing, this button changes to red and says Halt. Pressing this button again will cause pacing to stop. The cursor keys allow the user to cycle through different boxes and change the value within a specific box. The left and right cursor keys are the ones that will cycle through different boxes. The up and down cursor keys will change the value in the currently highlighted box. And finally, the numeric keypad. The numeric information in the currently highlighted box can be changed by typing in the desired number on the numeric keypad. Let's take a look at the protocols. The most basic pacing protocol is the F5 protocol, simply called PACE. In the F5 protocol, you simply tell the computer where to pace from in the sight box, how fast to pace in the cycle length box, and the amplitude in the AMP1 box in the channel output section. This is the most basic form of pacing. F8 is called arrhythmia induction, and this is your extra stimulus protocol. F8 consists of a sight box that tells the computer where to pace from, an S1 box to determine a cycle length of the pacing train, and an S2 box to determine the cycle length of the extra stimulus. You can also select the number of extra beats in case you want to give doubles, triples, S3s, and S4s. You can select the number in the train so that the pacing train could consist of 6, 8, 10, or 12 beats. You can select a rest time, which is a pause between pacing trains. The train type itself can either be paced or sensed. And there's a limit that can be placed on the extra stimuli so that you don't go too close to the S1 pacing train. F8 also has an automatic feature in which you can tell it to automatically increment or decrement the extra stimuli by a specific number of milliseconds. Now that we've looked at the basic protocols, let's look at the other protocols and see what features they offer. F1 is called the threshold determination. It's specifically for finding pacing thresholds. It has all of the features of F5, plus it adds an automatic feature, whereby the user can tell the computer to automatically decrement the current and a specific interval of beats. F1 also adds multipliers. When the threshold is determined, the user can invoke the multipliers and multiply the pacing threshold times the multiplier and get a resulting current for every single protocol. F2 is called refractory determination. F2 is an extra stimulus protocol for single extra stimuli only. It's exactly like F8, except it doesn't allow you to give S3s, S4s, and so forth. F3 is Wenckebach. Using F3, the user can manually increment the cycle length until the Wenckebach is found, or it offers an automatic feature whereby the cycle length can be stepped down by a certain number of milliseconds every so many beats. F3 also offers a cycle length limit, so that a certain cycle length will not be exceeded. F4 is sinus node recovery time. Using F4, the user can select the pacing train duration, the rest time between pacing trains, and a cycle length step that occurs between pacing trains. The user can also select a cycle length limit, so that a specific cycle length is not exceeded. By using the automatic features of F4, the user can simply hit the stim button and watch as the EP4 cardiac stimulator does a specific set of sinus node recovery times, and then all the user has to do is make the sinus node recovery time measurements at the end of each pacing train. F6 is called overdrive pacing. F6 is a straight burst protocol meant to get a patient out of a tachycardia. It offers a specific advantage over a typical burst protocol. F6 offers a percent cycle length. Using the percent cycle length, the user can put a percentage in the box, and then when a tachycardia is induced, the user can press F6 to come to this protocol. A computer will then automatically take a tachycardia cycle length and multiply it by percentage in the box and put the resulting cycle length in the cycle length box. Using F6, there's no need to think how fast I need to pace. You automatically get the certain percentage of the tachycardia cycle length. F7 is decremental pacing. F7 is another burst protocol, except it's not a straight burst. F7 is a ramp burst. F7 gives you the same percent cycle length advantage as F6, but F7 allows you to set a specific number of stim units and then set the increment or decrement between the stim units. In this way, the user can set up a ramp burst or a burst that decrements from beat to beat within the burst. You can also set up a cycle length limit so that the burst doesn't exceed a specific cycle length. The final protocol is the burst protocol. This is the most basic of burst protocols. You simply tell the computer the site to pace from, the cycle length, and the number of beats in the train. You can select anywhere between 1 and 200 beats in the train. It's important to note that even if you select a large number like 200, you do not have to deliver all 200 beats. You can start and stop the pacing and the bursting at any point in time. The EP4 cardiac stimulator allows up to 6 different users to be entered. To select a different user, simply press the Select User button. A menu opens which allows you to select any of the 6 users. When the stimulator is first booted up, it automatically boots up to user number 1. The usernames can also be edited by clicking the Edit Names button and typing in a new name for the user.